might have to turn the radio off.
Why?
Why?
So we'd like to welcome you to our new season 2 of our very fine podcast.
Welcome, welcome.
The original podcast was just something we came up with, and now we're waiting on news for our season 4 of the TV series.
But the podcast has really taken off, hasn't it? People like listening to it. We like doing it, and we want to keep doing it. This time we're looking at cars we might buy, but we might also look over cars that we can't buy because they're not for sale, and that's okay. We're lending an assessment or an opinion.
So if you're listening and you've got an interesting car, you probably know what we like, then get in touch.
We're also recording many of these episodes on video. Not quite a television show, but see what you think.
Shh, Gus, the podcast is starting.
Oh, is it now? Thank you for staying with us. I hope you like the cars we found. Okay, we're back, aren't we?
We are.
We're
Yeah.
back with another podcast.
Yes,
And,
it's my turn.
It's your turn to do the podcast.
So I have spirited a car into full vision.
It is in full vision. The reason I'm stunned into silence is because you haven't bothered to cover the car up.
No, I haven't. No, I didn't think there'd be very much point because you'd know straight away it's my car, my everyday drive, my little runaround. I call it Rocket's van. All of my vans are called Rocket Van, and this one's Rocket Van number 3.
So you're going to have to excuse me for being slightly disappointed that this is. So Will has brought me out round the corner of the yard, and here's his van, his little white Peugeot
Partner.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Howdy,
That's one,
partner. His little white. Well, I mean, it's lovely. Although I say I'm slightly underwhelmed, I'm prepared to be less than underwhelmed because
Okay.
you've obviously got a story here.
And here we go. So let me fill out the picture. It's a Peugeot Partner. It's a 56 plate.
It's in matte white.
It's in very matte white, and that we will come to that because that's a really important part. It's the 2-litre HDI engine, which is a high-pressure direct injection system.
I think, in actual fact, it was Peugeot's first common rail high-pressure engine.
Peugeot have come up with some really, really good small diesel engines, and this is one of them.
I know nothing about these vans, other than the fact that I know that this is a Berlingo.
It's the same as, yes.
And it's also the same as the Toyota ProAce. This is a world car. PSA Group, isn't it? And
It is.
And they had a deal with Toyota, didn't they? And Ford, in actual fact, for engines.
They all sort of got together and thought, OK, this is a great van. Let's all build it under our own name. And it's a great running gear for us as well.
So although I know nothing about this, because I know that this engine comes in, I think, 120, 150, 180 horsepower. Does it? Is that one? Am I right?
I don't think it's 180 horsepower.
I think it is in the big van. I think it is.
Right, OK.
Yeah.
Well, it's OK. So I don't know that, but I do know that the engine covers a vast range.
Yeah.
And the HDIs start at sort of like 1600 cc, and I think there's it might be 1600 and then 2000, but there might be a 1.9 as well.
Yeah.
But that might be the naturally aspirated. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a stonking little engine.
It's a stonking engine, and it is. Although I am saying I'm underwhelmed, I'm not really because it's a world car, and I love that about it. I love the fact that this van spans the world. If you want to be anonymous, run around in one of these.
That's perfect.
All over the world.
Let's start a little bit further back. I like French cars.
Yeah.
And the reason I like French cars is because they're often very interesting. They're often cutting-edge style design.
Well, they certainly have been, haven't they? Yeah.
They've always, they've got that little thing for doing the quirky stuff that a lot of people don't get. I really like.
Yeah.
Now, the Peugeot Partner missed out on all of that, unfortunately.
Well, you say that, but I don't know. I think it's a rather pleasing shape. I just want to say, the other thing that I know about Peugeot is that it's the oldest car manufacturer in the world. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know
Family
that.
run. Yeah, it's not family run anymore, but...
Well, I'm very pleased to hear it.
Yeah.
I know they go back a very long way.
Yeah, they really do, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, for me, this is definitely not the prettiest van in the world. It was very sort of that sort of style, that sort of look, the bubble eyes.
Yeah.
They were very cool at the time, and it was a style that never lasted very long, because everyone went, oh, you know what? That's not the prettiest thing in the world.
I think it's easy on the eye. I like the lines. I think they're simple, they're pleasing. Nothing. It's got a few bumps on it, hasn't it?
Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh because I know I've brought you out here to see something which you weren't expecting.
I wasn't expecting this, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared to run with it. So can you tell me then the reason why we're looking at this is because
The reason we're looking at this is these vans, when they came out, got a really good name for themselves.
Yeah.
High respect across all of the brands and the names that they were made under. They were the stock of small van.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted one because they were good, easy to drive. They're very, very reliable. They go like hot snot, which is great for a little, people like that,
Yeah, but you've got to look at the reliability of something like this. If you've got a business, or you've got a small business, I think Joseph, the carpenter that we use, has got one of these as well. But it's all about scales of economics, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not doing stuff to it all the time. It's starting every time. It's taking you to work. That's what you want, isn't it, in a van?
Well, it is what you want, but you know me, I'm that end user. So, so I bought this car just over a year ago as a non-runner.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I bought it from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
It got dragged out of their garden, put onto my trailer.
Nice.
Brought back here. And I ended up having to give him twice as much money for it as I thought I was going to get it for, because he initially said, oh, you can have it for just over scrap value.
Oh, lovely.
I went, yes! And he went, oh, I'm asking for too little.
So you knew what was wrong with it, or he knew what was wrong with it?
I had a pretty good idea what was wrong with it.
So he didn't know?
Not a clue.
Oh,
no,
okay. Well, he was just saying it's not running.
It just didn't run, and it had been sat for several years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I took the punt on it because my other friend, who had a look at it for him, went, if you wiggle the wires going into the ECU, it fires up.
What?
So I thought, this is going to be easy. So there was one connection through the ECU plug on the loom side where the crimp on end had just gone rotten.
Oh, my
So I went to the scrapyard, cut the plug off another one, teased out that single wire by disassembling the entire plug, put the new section in, soldered it back onto that bit of wire, plugged it in,
Wow.
bingo.
Wow, that's amazing.
That was it. That was
Wow.
it. So I paid 750 quid for this.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was going to be getting it for less than 400 quid.
If you'd have bought this running, is this 06? No. What year is this?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
So if you'd have bought this running, what would it have been worth?
At that point, and it would have had to have been straight and shiny.
And shiny?
And shiny. Well, yeah.
Not just rust-free?
And rust-free.
Yeah.
Well, they generally are.
Well, yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They don't go rusty.
No, they're well looked after.
Apart from that bit there.
Yeah, and that's...
If you can cover that with your thumb. So it's a patch of rust which is smaller than my thumb, which is quite big.
Yeah.
But...
Is that a rock?
I think it must have started off as a rock. Yeah.
What sort of price would this have been if it had been running when you bought it then?
If I wanted to go buy a shiny one with this low mileage on it and one owner, my friend's mum, who is a granny and a florist, she's had it from new.
Oh, I see.
And she only ever dealt in flowers in pots, not wet cut flowers. So it's not been a sea of stagnant flower water in the back of the car.
Yeah, nice.
Since new, you'd be having to pay like £2,000.
So you're getting this basically half price?
Yes. Yeah, less than
half price.
Let's call it half price so we don't try and over.
So you bought this for less than half price, but you sort of think you know what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and it's got, at that point, 107,000 miles on the clock.
Which I assume is nothing.
Is zip, that's zip.
Yeah.
These things will do a good 250,000 easily.
Brilliant.
One lady owner who I've known, and I've known this car since brand new.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow. I bet you've coveted it from brand new, have you?
Well, no.
Oh, you have, haven't you? One day I'll have that.
If I'd have known it was sat underneath that tree rotting away.
Yeah, you'd have gone and asked them.
4 years beforehand, I'd have gone and got it.
Yeah.
I'd missed out for many years.
Yeah.
I mean, by now, it would have been completely worn out, and I'd have done it. If I'd have got it 4 years ago, I'd have had every last bit of life out of it.
Yeah, of course.
So it was spotless. So that's why I'm presenting it to you, because I think that this would have been a perfect example of a van for us to flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've not done a van or any commercial
We haven't
vehicle,
we
have
haven't done a van. It's never really crossed my mind. But if you think of the amount of people that use these, the amount of people that rely on these on a daily basis, it's a really good idea to do one, isn't it? It really is a good idea. But you sort of had the inside leg on it, didn't you? You knew that you would be able to fix this.
I did.
If you didn't know you'd be able to fix this, suddenly that price tag suddenly might start seeming a little bit pricey if you've got to do...
Yeah.
I don't know. They are reliable engines, though, aren't they? So you're probably not thinking you're going to have to do loads of work to that.
I was confident enough that before I actually even got it fired up and actually found the fault, I'd already been down to the motor factors and bought brand new front discs, brand new pads, brand new cam belt sets, water pump, and everything, and a full service kit for the engine and gearbox.
Yeah.
And I bought 5 brand new tyres for us as well. Load-rated tyres.
Wow.
That's how confident I was.
Yeah, and therefore you're in for the long haul.
I am.
You are having this for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the perfect vehicle for that, isn't it?
And I run this around, it's not unusual for me, at the moment to pop up to Birmingham and back in a week.
Yeah.
And I've done 13,000 miles in it since I got it.
Wow.
Which is just over a year. So it's not high mileage.
No, but this is... So you said this is 2 litre?
Yeah.
But it must be light.
Yeah, I think the entire van weighs like 1.6 tonnes.
Oh, OK. So
And
it's not actually that light, is it?
No, it's not.
How
But
bizarre, when there's nothing in the back.
You can put almost half a tonne in the back.
Can you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. And it's nice because you've got McPherson struts at the front,
Yeah.
so it handles well.
Yeah.
Okay, front wheel drive, so that all works really nicely. And then at the back, it's a torsion beam axle.
Yeah, OK.
So it's a good little setup at the back as
Yeah.
well. So you've got all of the brilliant things about French vans.
Yeah. OK, so if we were going to buy this and we were going to flip it, how do we, other than the fact that it's now running, how do we... What is that on there? It's got quite...
Well, that's grime.
It's quite pronounced crime,
Yeah,
isn't it?
there was quite a lot more of it when I got it.
Really?
It'd been under a tree for a long time.
Oh, OK, yeah.
And you know when
That
lichen
sort of-
grows on a car?
Yeah.
Right, and the roots of it sort of destroy the top surface of the paint. They sort of get into it.
Yeah.
Well, it was like that, all over all the flat surfaces.
Wow.
I had to put it through a car wash as well.
Some trees worse than others, aren't they? I know that the stuff that drops off of an oak tree is atrocious if you leave. I've left cars under oak trees before, and it's really...
Well, they're quite an acidic tree, aren't
Yeah.
Yew trees. Yew trees are bad as well, aren't they,
trees are
guys?
bad for different reasons, though, aren't they? It's mostly bird crap. No, I like the idea of it, and I like the confidence which...
Would you like to see under the bonnet?
Yes, I would very much like to see
Wait
under the
right
bonnet.
there, because I know what you're like. You're desperate to get inside the car. And the moment you open that door, hold on.
Yeah, well, I know what the insides of your cars are like.
And this was no exception. Just on the wheels. So, I said I bought 5 brand new tyres for it.
Yep.
And I put them on there. I thought, yes, 5 brand new load-rated tyres. This is going to look mint. Well, they're really little. They're 14-inch rims with 175s on there.
Oh, OK. So are these different wheels, then?
These are off the later Peugeot partner, Bilingo.
Oh,
so they're 15-inch rims with 195, 65, 15.
You're not telling me you bought another set of tyres?
I went to the scrapyard.
Oh, OK.
And I saw my mate Eddie on Cane Hill.
Well, down at Cane Hill, yeah.
And he sold me a set of 4 wheels and tyres in really good nick. And I've had them all balanced and put on there.
Brilliant.
And we are sorted.
Yeah, it does. It does look chunky, I have to say. Come on then, let's have a look under this.
Ta-da!
Wow, it looks great, doesn't it? I mean, it's. I know you love a diesel engine, and it's a classic diesel engine in there, isn't it?
That is a classic diesel engine. I would like to say unmessed with, but I have had a problem with this car.
Yes.
Yes. For the first 10 months, I could not for the life of me work out why I was losing a tiny bit of water.
Oh, was it?
On a regular basis.
Was it a head gasket?
And eventually it got slightly worse, and I'd checked everything. To the point where, see that little green pressure sensor down there?
Yeah.
I thought I saw a drip of water coming off that.
Oh.
And the engine's warm. Not that warm.
Yeah.
But it's warm.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's it, I found it. Well, I'm going to pull that sensor out, So I pulled out the little R-clip.
Yeah.
I got my arm down in there, wiggled on it.
Oh dear.
It was a little bit warm. More pressure in the cooling system than I thought there was going to be.
Oh, so that's straight into the cooling system with an O-ring or something?
Yeah, with an O-ring. It shot out
No, of course
up
it did.
my sleeve.
These are all things not to do on a car. Never break into the pressurised water system on a car when the engine's hot.
Yeah.
Because you're asking for trouble.
Yes, and I got it, and I got a very wet arm as well. Thankfully, it was below scalding temperature, so lucky old me. I mean, it actually looks very presentable,
It
doesn't
doesn't really matter, though, does it, on a commercial vehicle? There's no rust in there, is there? A bit of dust. But that's, it's just it's a well-used thing, isn't it? It all looks in perfect order, nice new clips and everything. But you have had a bit of a clean-up, haven't you? Looks like... Is that new or is that
That
clean?
gets back to my water loss issue.
Oh, OK.
So the water loss issue, after 10 months of having the car and absolutely pulling my hair out, because now the water issue is getting worse, and it's now starting to pressurise the cooling as well.
Oh, OK.
So it's like...
Oh, so you know what it is then,
Yeah, so
by that point.
I've got a blown head gaskets.
Yeah.
So I take it all apart, and it's just got the tiniest, weeniest little blow on it. I put it all back together. And sometimes you can have a massive catastrophe because you're not concentrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I do know about those, yes.
It turns out the instructions for the procedure to do the stretch bolts is written on...
In French.
Well, it might as well have been. Because I followed the procedure that was written on the head gasket sets.
Yep.
Not the procedure that was written on the stretch bolts box sets, which would have made a lot more sense. So
Well, I don't know. You say that, but you've got to follow something, haven't you?
We have got to follow something, and I wasn't in I was in too much of a rush to check everything for instructions, so I then had to drill all of the head bolts back out, which was deeply upsetting.
I can imagine.
It took me a whole month to pluck up the...
to get back to it.
Get over the upsets of everything that I'd done wrong, and then take the head back to the engineers and get it checked again.
To make sure it's straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, isn't it? I know it is a catastrophe, and I have been through those things before, but you can always come round to it, can't you? I've said this before, we've said this before, if you have the time, you park it up, you think about it, you walk away from it, and you spend enough time preparing yourself, you go back to it fresh, and suddenly it doesn't matter. You're back to square one.
I was armed with some cobalt drills.
Yeah. Ooh,
twist
nice.
drill. Yeah, really nice. And do you know what? 5 of the bolts, the Torx head, actually sheared off from the bolts, even the washer holding it down.
So it would have stayed down.
5 of them snapped off. Oh, it was not coming off. And 5 of them came undone. I had to drill out 5, and of course they were the most difficult ones to get
to get at. Yeah, because it's canted over, and we haven't said this. So the engine is canted over towards the bulkhead of the car.
So to get to those rear head bolts, you've got to release the engine mounts
and move the engine forwards.
Put a ratchet strap on the engine and pull it forwards.
Yeah.
So that was tricky.
Did you ever go through the whole thought process of, so you've over-torqued the stretch box.
Yeah.
The tops have snapped off, but there's still the meat on it left that's holding the head down. Did you ever go through that sort of moral conundrum about maybe I'll just leave it and let
it took me a month to come to the correct decision, let's say.
But that's funny, isn't it? Because obviously there is a correct decision, There's 2 ways you can go there. You can keep it in there and not tell anyone about it, or you can brave it out, do it properly, and then you can tell everyone about it.
Exactly. But I'm the sort of person that would then spend many, many hours bombing down a motorway at the 65 miles an hour that I actually genuinely tend to travel at, only thinking about the fact that I know that head is not properly torqued down to the correct specification to my engine, which I love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the rub.
Yeah.
Because you love it. I get
do.
it. Yeah.
I genuinely have a feeling of passion and love towards my vehicles. Yeah. It's not, like kissy-cuddly.
No, I know. I know exactly what you mean. I feel exactly the same. And if I'm doing anything on any of mine, especially on the Land Rover, actually, probably more than the Mini, I'm exactly the same.
And I want this thing to last. I know. I'm hoping to get up to my standard 200,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think it's worth talking about this Common Rail engine, isn't it? This Peugeot engine. I remember Peugeot's fortune's been turned around by, I suppose, sort of 205, 106. You know, when they came out.
Yeah,
that was
it
the
became
time.
the everyday stalwart of the road.
And they made a lot of money out of those. And I think that's when the factory sort of turned itself around. But I remember them investing a lot of money. I'm only remembering this from my days working on different car magazines. They invested a lot of money. They were very proud of that common rail diesel engine. And this is a direct...
derivative?
Well, of that, yeah. That's where it's all come from. And it had a... It was a fantastic engine.
You're talking about the old 1.9 turbo diesel that they came up with back then.
Yeah.
That was a strong... Yeah, I think this is... You know,
I think this is a...
That was a pre-runner to this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's all lateral, isn't it? But
it is.
But it's an amazing bit of kit, and just the fact that it's used in so many. I know I was saying about Toyota, Vauxhall, obviously Citroën, because PSA is Citroën.
My
Peugeot,
last rocket van had one of these as well.
And I like the idea of that. You know, you develop something. And we were talking about that with the Jag as well, with that engine, that XK engine. You develop something that's ahead of the game. You pump money into it because you know that you're going to use it for generations afterwards. It's going to keep coming back, and you're going to sell it to Toyota because it's the standard. It's the actual model standard.
Look what it's done.
Yeah, I think it's abnormal that somebody would probably attempt to put a head gasket on it. But, and you're capable of doing that, and a lot of people are capable of doing that, but a lot of people aren't. But besides that apart, it's doable on there, isn't it? You can see it, you can get at it, it makes sense.
I think for simplicity of mechanical maintenance on this, the engine is very easy to get to, so the head wasn't a difficult job if it had gone swimmingly.
Yeah.
What was a bit tricky, it's like for the first couple of weeks of owning it, it's like, I know it's got a turbo.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So where is the turbo? It's all down the back, isn't it? It's right down there.
Well, I'll give you a tenner if you can see it.
Oh, I can't see
it.
Okay,
literally, I'll get £10 out of my pocket now if you can see that turbo.
I'm definitely going to have a look now then, because that's not an offer you get every day.
No, it's not. You can feel as well.
Well, it's right down there, isn't it? Oh, it's under that, is it? Yeah.
Well,
you can't say you can't.
No, you can't. You can't see it. So
the engine is there's quite a lot of space in front of the engine filled up with gubbins, but then the engine is pushed back towards the bulkhead, and the exhaust system the inlet system's on the front, the exhaust system's on the back, but it's so far down.
No, it's all, that's the inlet manifold there on the back at the top.
Yeah, the top.
Yeah, fuel in at the front here.
Yeah,
inlet manifold, so air comes in here down through there, going to the top of the back of the engine.
That is the other way around.
The exhaust below that now.
Yeah, so the exhaust is down the back there.
Lots of pipes and bits around.
Yeah, but that's great. I think, yes, well, I think the conclusion is that you've got it going. If we're talking about this van in a sense of us doing it on the show, you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? And in actual fact, taking the head off it, putting a new gasket on it, getting it all checked, putting it back together again, would have been a nice job, wouldn't it?
It would have been.
Would have been a nice job to show people what to do, because it's...
And if, when buying the car, we'd known that the head gasket was on its way out, then that would have been an even better bargaining chip for us.
Yes.
I didn't know.
No, exactly.
But with hindsight being 2020, then yes.
Listen, we've got to bite the bullet and address the elephant in the room, which is the interior of your car. But before we do that, let's have a break, shall we?
Shall we? Yeah, yes, because you've missed some other important things that we also need to talk about. But cup of tea time.
Yeah. And we're back in the game.
Yes.
Right, we're back. We're addressing the elephant in the room. We are with our white Peugeot partner, 2-litre direct injection diesel van.
High pressure direct injection diesel van.
High pressure direct injection. HDI. Oh, okay.
Now, Gus,
the only reason I didn't realise what that said is because the H is missing.
Yeah, well, only half of the H has been dropped.
Half H.
Half H.
Come on, let's put this down. You'll have to help me. I've only got one arm.
Let me take you, Gus.
Let's go and see the interior.
Let me introduce you to the cabin.
I'm going in the driver's seat.
You are, yes.
I'm going in the driver's seat. Now, yes, it's classic. It's classic Trickett van. Let's just listen to the... Oh, yours has got a great resonance, your side.
Shall I do it again?
Oh, you've got a sliding door, that's why.
Oh, yeah, it rattles.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So let me just describe the interior. This is just a general interior of your cars.
Yeah.
They have the feeling a little bit like something that's been partially uncovered by Time Team. So that there's dirt in every place there can be. There's a drift of something, and it's like they haven't quite finished the dig. They've just brushed the dirt away from the surface areas. Oh my goodness! You didn't tell me you had Bakewell tarts in
I
here.
haven't got any Bakewell tarts.
Are they
That's
empty?
completely empty, yeah.
That's
I
car
haven't-
fancies.
Well, that's recycling, that
That
is.
is
That bit,
recycling.
yeah, that's...
So needless to say, it's functional in here. But what I do like about the
I
interiors of
do
your cars,
have a complete bacon and sausage roll from Monsieur GR Eggs.
how old is that?
Yesterday morning, I forgot
Oh,
about
my
it, so I'm
goodness.
sure
You
it's still okay.
You can't leave that in there. There'll be something that gets in there to eat.
Yeah, me.
So suffice to say, it's quite messy in here, but it's functional, and I like that. You've got my goodness, you've got a packet of. This would never last in my car. Will's got a packet of plain chocolate digestive biscuits.
My
in his-
favourite.
My favourite too.
Yeah, they're
dangerous.
really nice.
Very
Have one
dangerous.
if you want.
No, I daren't. I can't be eating and talking at the same time. It's terribly
Well,
unprofessional.
okay.
So inside we have what would be, I would say, is a very functional interior of a Peugeot vehicle. If you've ever known Peugeot vehicles, they've used this binnacle setup forever, haven't they?
It's
I think probably
nothing-
since 106. It's the same.
It has got a digital bit at the top for the miles.
Oh, has it? I can't see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, so the ignition's not on. It only
Yeah.
illuminates once that's on.
So it's perfectly functional.
It's
It's like
perfectly
being in a
functional.
car, I would say.
I think
You wouldn't know you were in a van if you didn't see the big lump behind you with nothing
If
in
you're
it.
sat here looking forwards, you might just notice that the windscreen is like a good sort of 4 inches
Yeah.
taller than a car.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is basic, bog standard
Yeah.
car.
If we were talking about this as a car to flip, you would literally just have to clean this up.
Yeah.
I mean, you just take all your, I'm not going to say rubbish, all your stuff.
Stuff.
Out. Because
Possessions.
it's not
goods,
rubbish.
Goods and chattels. Look,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
actually managing to clear the whole of the dashboard.
he's got some big end bearings in here, which
Yeah.
have been used.
Yeah,
What are they out of?
Yeah, those are Komatsu ones.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Quite well stuffed on the top. They're not
Yeah.
too bad, just age, I'd say.
But yeah, look at that. The plastic of the dashboard is actually
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it's
say
serviceable.
clean,
but it's not a.
it's without patina.
Yeah. But it's not a slush moulded dashboard, is it? It's a solid. I mean, that's the van thing coming in here, isn't it? There's a cheapness involved in this, isn't there? And
Basic plastic.
basic plastic. Everything is a basic
Yeah.
plastic. But it's a nice enough place to be.
And above the sunshine visors, there's a little shelf.
Yes.
Which you think, oh, that's going to be brilliant. But you know what that is?
Yeah. So that's a place for losing stuff.
That's actually the shelf of invisibility.
Yeah, because you can't get your hands right
Things
down
go
there.
up there.
Yeah.
They never, ever, ever come back.
I'm not going to put my hand.
No,
in there
I shouldn't.
for fear
because
of what's
there's
up there.
Spiders and snakes.
Yeah.
And what have you. First,
but-
at least there's a first aid kit there.
That's brilliantly useful.
With a tag on it, which
Yes.
I leave dangling on the outside so I can remember it's there.
That's there. That's great. And
Looks
you can
like
get
I've
it
actually
out.
got an air freshener in the car, which is never going to happen.
Never going to happen. But what I'm saying is, it's quite. You could clean this out, clean it up, and it would look fine, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's not broken or worn out. The seats are in good condition. The
There's
cheeks
quite
of
a
the
lot
seats
of staining on that seat, though. Will
Well,
isn't
that's where the
there?
dog sits.
Ah, okay. You're
Yeah, as you
blaming
can
that
see
on
by
Lily.
the
That's
quantity
fine.
of dog hair that's there. And
I'm sure. I mean, I've talked to her about it, and she said other, but that's fine. Let's get out, because in actual fact, there's little that we can say about the interior
Yeah.
of that car. And what I really want to do is to get onto the outside of this car, because I
Okay.
know that you love it, and I
Well,
know that you think I
yeah.
know you think you got a bargain, but I'm just looking at the panels
Yeah.
on this. I'll take this side,
Okay,
and
let's do a comparative test, shall we?
Yeah, so we're outside the car now. I'm on the passenger side. I'm at the front wing. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say this wing's got substantial damage. Not broken paint.
No.
But it looks like someone's hit it
Yeah.
with something soft like a fist or something.
Yeah, so,
And what's your one like?
well, it looks like a cow was reversed into it because
Exactly.
it's got several ripply dents across the whole thing. It was a lot worse when I got it.
Was it?
You know those plunger jobs?
Yes.
Yeah? I
Yeah.
had
Did
to
you pull
use
them out with
one
that?
of those.
Did she do this?
Well, my friend, her son,
Yes.
I think he was the bad driver.
But that doesn't look like it's bumped into
I-
anything.
No, I got a feeling that he might have just sort of, let off some steam.
That's what it looks like. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm
I
going to
think
say.
that looks like a steam venting
Yeah. Yeah.
sort of incident that might have happened.
I was going to say it looks like it might be fist
I
or.
think that's what that was.
Okay,
and,
so- okay, so
and, I've got exactly the same on this side.
Both wings, that's great. Well, it is the bonnet.
Le Boniche.
Well, the bonnet's nice apart from the one rusty mark under your thumb and quite a large scratch there.
Yeah.
And
The plastic grill, that's nice.
the plastic grille.
The
is
bumper?
lovely. Well,
Now, that's a good bumper.
the bumper's. I mean, it has got a bit of scuffage on this side, on the near side, but it's nothing. It's not terrible.
That's not bad, is it? And
No.
it retains its colour.
It has retained its colour.
Yeah, I'll put some special stuff on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you? What? Especially for this? You
Especially,
know I was
well,
coming.
no, not for today. No, this is
I was going to say cleaning it wouldn't have
my
hurt.
friend, a guy called Skidmark,
Ah, yes.
who is a car detailer.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, "Let me show you this stuff, Will." And he put it on my bumper. And it's like, oh my God.
It's not called Vaseline, is it?
No, it's not called Vaseline. It's called something very expensive that you put on with a lint-free cloth.
Oh.
So he did my bumper and then gave me the pot of it, and I did all the rest of the plastics.
Brilliant.
Over my lunch break.
Okay, come on. We're at the door. We're at the door, and I've got a bit of rust, but I've got another which looks like a knee vent, a knee dent in the
okay.
door. I mean, it's at knee. Was he my sort of height, the bloke?
Yeah.
'Cause
Right, my side, I win a point. I have a panel which is completely unbent.
I'm going to have a look at
coming
this.
round
I'm
to
adjudicating.
check?
I'm adjudicating.
Cheeky. Look at that. Straight as a die.
Okay, I mean, it's got a rust spot there, isn't it?
I mean, look at
Look
that.
at your grubby fingers have been opening the...
Yeah, I know, because with matte paint, it tends to pick
it
up
does-
the dirt
does
from my
pick-
hands.
does pick up the dirt.
As you know.
Okay, I'm giving you
Okay.
that. So you've got one panel that's not...
Do you want to start?
Oh, well,
So
you haven't got a sliding door your side, have you?
No, I don't. No, I've got a complete panel because I'm on the driver's side. The only addition that I have to the modelling on this side is I've got a filler cap.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and a small
dent from the inside.
depression. No, that's from the outside. No,
that's from the
that one's
inside.
from the inside.
So is that?
Oh, so, yeah, that is. Yeah, that's from the inside.
Oh, you're looking at a different dent to
yeah,
me.
no, have you not seen the bigger one there?
Yeah, there is. There's quite a big dent.
That one's quite graceful.
And then there's the points where edges of things inside have been pushed through.
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Well, it wasn't me. It was a wheelbarrow handle.
Okay, get
Which
it.
I tried to get in through the side. You see I managed it twice?
Oh, yeah.
One there, and then 4 inches away, I got it again. I was trying to get a wheelbarrow in through the side gliding door on the other side.
Okay, well,
handles first.
I'm sliding door side.
And I slipped and grabbed hold of the wheel of the wheelbarrow,
Yes.
and it shifted as I was pushing it in.
Of course.
And then it happened again because I caught my hand to the wheel. It hurt.
So what are we saying then? Oh, well,
the
my
rear
God,
door.
and the back door's got a massive wall. But these are all very similar. Is that his
Yeah,
hand that's
it's
done
like
that?
basically it's like somebody's like a kangaroo's been around it, give it a good old kick.
Kicking. That's
Yeah.
really weird. Sort of soft, cloudy, quite big dents.
Yeah.
So by my reckoning, there's one panel on the car that isn't dented.
Is that the
No,
bonnet? Is that the bonnet or this door?
Okay, we'll count the bonnet as well. So it's three, isn't it?
three,
'Cause it's
so
the
the-
driver's door, the
and
driver's door at the back,
Yeah.
in fact, driver's side door, the offside door, and the bonnet.
Yeah. And
So,
the roof.
Say we bought this van for what did you pay for it? 700?
700 quid.
So we bought this van for 700
Spent
quid.
300 quid on like tyres and service parts and cam belts.
Yeah, which you would do, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because especially if you don't
Yeah.
know whether it's been done, because this engine would not survive a cam belt failure.
No, oh God, no, absolutely, definitely not. No, that would be a bad day.
Yeah. So we've done that, and you would do that. How much was that? Sorry.
So that comes to around about £1,000.
Okay, so we're up to 1,000.
That's what it stood me in as until 10 months later when the head gasket
Yeah, but that's
did pop. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is just throwing this is, initially at the time, that would have been absolutely bonzo, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have gone for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you would have
Yeah.
done because it would have been clean inside then as well.
It was spotless.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
was so pleased.
Hasn't taken you long,
It was
has it?
so nice to actually sit those first few hours of owning it and
Yeah.
sitting in it until I'd had an ice cream and
Like
a packet of biscuits. It
Like
was-
having a brand new car.
It was like having a brand new car. But okay, so let's not get away from the whole panel thing.
What do you
'Cause
mean, not get away from it?
I've got something to put to you, right? Which I'm hoping. We've got everything.
See, I don't think the panel thing really matters. It's only
Oh, good.
aesthetics.
Okay, so you're going in the right direction. So,
Unless you're gonna sell it.
remember
Go on.
our friend
Yes, I do.
that can do. He can push out dents like this.
Yeah, he can.
Very easily and efficiently.
At a price, though.
Well, yes, but we've got a whole van to do. But if we did the donkey work,
Yes.
like removing the inner
Inner
panels,
yeah.
and set him to this car and go, okay, we're not aiming for perfection.
No, but you'd have
But
to
if
tell
you
him
could-
which ones to get out, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Let's say we get a deal.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a straight van, which is mechanically very sound.
Very, very, very sound.
We buff the lights because they've got a bit of that.
Polish the bejeepers out of the paintwork. Take the roof rack off.
Yeah, although that is
because it makes a terrible racket going down the motorway.
Does it?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed to put 100 kilos on the roof.
Are you really?
So that roof rack there
It's probably 100 kilos.
It's a pretty heavy-duty roof
Yeah,
rack.
it's quite well constructed. Did you make it yourself?
No, I didn't actually.
Did you not?
I got it from the scrapyard for
Did
40
you?
quid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's galvanised steel box section
Is it
roof rack.
galvanised? Okay,
Yeah,
so
hot
that's
dip
good.
galvanised.
Wow.
Hot dip galvanised. And I got it from my friend Eddie,
That's great.
Crane Hill.
Yeah.
And
That's brilliant.
that was 40 quid.
Yeah.
And I put it on there and I got onto the M4, got up to 65 miles an hour. I was like, whoa! I was like,
wished you hadn't
What
put
have
it
I
on
done? I almost took it straight back off.
So are we gonna have a look under this van?
I think we should do.
I think we should do. I'd be happy to look under it.
But the kettle has just boiled.
Oh, great. So we're going to have a little break.
Well, we're going to hopefully get some advertisement to fill up this gap while we have our break.
Oh, this is a commercial break.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Okay, I've got it.
Let's
Great.
do it.
Okay.
Auntie.
Yeah, back in a minute. Okay, so we've got. We're going to have a look under our van. We are. You can introduce it. Come on, it's your.
This is my beloved Rocket Van. Rocket Van is a Peugeot partner 2-litre HDI diesel. It's just a lovely little thing. It's great to razz around in.
It's the van of the people, isn't it?
It is.
That's the conclusion we've come to.
Wasn't it one of those vans that, didn't it sort of, I mean, I feel like it should have got awards for being, best van so-and-so, best van the following year. It's one of those vans that, if it didn't, it should have done.
Yeah. So Will's putting both jacks under because I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
I'll pump this one.
I'm trying not to kneel in the wet bits of concrete.
Yeah, because that might have been the horse. The horse that's done that. Are you going under the...
The shock absorber mounts.
Yeah, got it, yeah. So we are jacking and jacking and
jacking.
Yeah.
We have contact.
We have contact. Right, we're going up.
Okay.
You've got your one goes up twice as fast as this one, so I have to pump twice as hard.
I'll go slowly, because...
There we go.
You got... Oh, mine really is...
It really is a lot faster, that one.
Yeah.
It's a good jack, that. I like this one. This one's a little aluminium jack, and I love the fact that it's so light. Okay, that's nice.
Those aluminium jacks are really handy, because you can put them in the back of your car.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Not feeling like you're going to get a hernia.
No.
The other jack that I'm using is one of those very low-level, long-reach ones, which my brother gave me many years ago because it was something he used for his rally driving.
So we're under the van, and it's pretty much as you would expect if you were expecting to look under a van.
Okay, so it's fair to say I live down at the end of a very long, muddy lane.
Exactly that.
But it's a torsional beam rear axle. With trailing arms.
Trailing arms off the beam.
It was the sort of thing that Peugeot used on a lot of stuff. I mean, I certainly remember the old 205s, 405s, everything had that sort of axle.
Yeah.
So it's a tried and tested setup.
Yeah.
I'd like to just point out the brand new spare tyre.
I was going to say,
brand spanking.
Although it's dirty under here, it's all there, isn't it? And it's all relatively neat.
You won't find any rust.
No, and everything that you would, brake pipes running down one side, it's all neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's neat and tidy.
It is.
The suspension.
I think one of the things that always gets me about when I look underneath the back of this, look at the angle of those rear dampers. They're almost flat.
Yeah.
And that's because of the geometry of the rear, sort of the beam axle arrangement. That means they just sort of fit in that way. But let's move forwards, because this is the bit where, you were knocking all the panels above.
Yeah.
And every single panel's got a problem.
Yeah.
Down here, I can see the rear axle. Yes, it's dirty.
Well, it's dirty, but it seems all... I mean, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Because it all looks very functional. It's all very neat. There's no rust on here. It's got a plastic petrol tank anyway, hasn't it? But there's no polypropylene. But there's no rust under here, is there?
No. And I can see looking further forwards.
Let's go then. Come on. Let's have a little look down there. I mean...
I'm now led underneath the sill, just in front of the rear wheel, looking up at the chassis of the car, and there seems to be like a chassis rail running underneath the cockpit area.
Yeah, there's two, isn't there? Yeah. Two on either side, two pressed into the... pressed into the bodywork of the car, basically, aren't they? Or are they tacked on, actually?
Yeah, this one's there. That's
The outer one is tacked on, isn't it?
They're all welded on. Yeah. There's both quite meaningful bits of metal, as in longitudinal chassis members.
Yeah. They go all the way to the front subframe, in actual fact, don't they?
Never been sort of driven off curbs. There's no scrapey marks.
No, and it's never been jacked up in the wrong place, which is something that's
actually,
quite
there's
common.
one here. Look. Yeah, there's the sill on this side. Somebody's put the jack underneath the sill, jacked it up, and as the trolley jacks lifted up and then pulled backwards, it's folded the edge of the sill over.
There was a
It's
lad.
a real pity because look. That's the jacking point there.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't miss it by much, did they?
No, they didn't. No, just a good year. But you missed by an inch, you missed by a mile, don't you?
There was a lad down my road the other day. He'd pulled in into the drive to change his wheels on a flat tyre, and he had his family in the car. And I saw him, and I went out and I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Oh, I've just got a flat tyre." I said, "Do you want me to help? I've got a jack in the garage." He said, "No, it's all right. I've got one here. I'm going to do it." And I went back out about half an hour later, thinking it's taken him a long time. And he'd done exactly that. He jacked his brand new Golf up on the sill.
Oh,
I know. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know whether to say to him, or I just left him. He's fine. He got on with it. But I could see what he'd done. I think it's very common, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Look, it's anybody sort of sees that. It's like you can see exactly what's happened there. Peugeot van, 10 years. Good life expectancy.
Yeah, it's going to be knackered. It's going to be knackered by the time it's
of course because you've got a load of builders chucking 100 bricks in the back of it.
Yeah,
all of their kit, pots of paint, bitumen, paint brushes, Kango hammers, everything.
But this is the beauty of this vehicle, isn't it? That this has had a life. This vehicle, it's done that job.
Yeah,
but it still manages to have another life, which is the life it's going to have with
Thankfully, the previous life that it had was a florist.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm the guy with the Kango and the bricks.
Yeah, it wasn't hard work.
Gearboxes and engines that I'm going to be putting in the back of it.
Yeah, I wonder if. I literally am just wondering whether it would have survived your ownership of it. It would have done because you'd have maintained it. But what I'm saying is, if it would somebody else doing that to it, whether it would now be in the situation it is, or whether it would have gone to the.
I think it would have gone.
I told you before about my dad's Morris Minor van, where he used to keep a diesel tank in the back of it, full of diesel for his because he drove diggers.
Okay.
And so to refuel them, he had a hand pump on it.
Oh,
so
really?
He used to refuel them out diesel, but the diesel tank obviously leaked on
Somewhere.
filling it and not, so
he had the only Morris Minor that stank of diesel.
Yeah, not only did it stink of diesel, but it was absolutely perfect underneath.
Well, yeah.
Because the diesel leached through everything and covered everything.
And because it's penetrative.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's
will
like
get anywhere.
Like pouring penetrating oil on it. It got into every nook and cranny, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was the back of it, the front of it was, and the middle bit was obviously lubricated from the oil that fell out the engine, and the back was it was petrol engine, but diesel at the back. Yeah.
As you know, I used to be a boat builder, and the thing that gave me the biggest fear when building canal boats and river boats was welding the fuel tank together because there were diesel tanks.
Yeah.
And diesel can get diesel.
Gets everywhere. Yeah.
It can, Houdini.
Yeah.
Hasn't got a patch on diesel. Diesel can seep through any imperfection in any weld, and oh my god, it was awful. So
I see what you mean. Not the fear of welding up something that's got diesel in it, but the fear of something leaking out of it once you've welded it out. Let's have a little look in the back.
So.
I
think to get the full glory, shall we?
Oh, well, you want to put it down
go
first?
For a lowerification.
We are lowering in unison. Go on, you better start because yours is probably faster.
See how fast we're going. I'm not very fast.
You're not actually, okay, that's good.
That wasn't too bad.
This is the big reveal. We're going into the back. It's full, Will.
Oh, well,
I can't see anything in there. Well, the back of the van is full. The Lily's bed's in there.
Yeah.
And
jump leads, and they're not for me. They're for just in case. This is actually the lair, and this is where Dino
That's Will's pet
and
dinosaur.
Diney live.
One's an ankylosaurus,
Yeah,
the other one
these-
is some sort of...
They basically live in the van. They are a permanent fixture. They've always been in the van, so they're here. I will show you.
and your precious load liner,
I keep protected
Yeah.
with a bit of underlay.
So is the load liner original? Is that what you're saying? Is that why you
That's
think...
Peugeot's own load liner?
It's completely...
Look at my...
completely
'cause look,
shredded at the
look
front.
at that.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
what he's telling us, everybody, is that the flatbed itself, apart from being rather... Is that bent?
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
For all those who can't see this, and which is those who are listening, it looks like somebody's been living in the back of Will's van for about 6 months.
I've got lots of useful things in there as well. I'll have you know.
I get it. But
Yeah.
it would clean up, and that's the rub, isn't it? I mean, all that
Yeah.
stuff that is yours can come out, and then you have
Yes, you take my stuff out, and you've got handy other things in there.
yeah. There's lots of space.
No, nothing.
Yeah. I like the philosophy that Peugeot have with this van. I like the fact that they've made a very tough little van.
Yeah.
It's great, and
It can deal with me.
Exactly, and the fact that so many different companies use it is not surprising to me at all, because it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
come
like
up with
it.
a really good design. It's like, hey guys, and girls,
Yeah.
let's all do this. And they went, yeah, you know what? That's a brilliant van.
Yeah.
We can release it as our brand under our name.
Yeah.
And they sold gazillions of them.
Shed loads of them.
Shed loads,
So,
boatloads.
so we're looking at this with an idea that we might buy it, and if we'd have bought it, would
Yeah.
we flip it? Would we make a profit?
Yeah. Shall we go through the sums?
Well, we've been through the sums,
We
haven't
have.
we? So what all we're saying, we're trying to work out whether this car would be worth...
Yeah, and
I know
I think
it's personal to you, but you've got to take that out of the equation, because
you're
you're not going to...
softening the blow of what you're
No,
trying to
because
come
you're
into.
not going to sell it. You're never going to sell this van. So this van is perfect for you, and I absolutely get that. You
Yeah.
don't care if it's got fisticuff dents on it. I wouldn't care
No,
either.
no.
It does a perfect job for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. But whether it would be worth buying to flip it or not is another matter, isn't it? Because it...
I think you've got a slightly different opinion, because I have those tinted glasses.
Yeah, I know, because you love
Obviously.
it. I know you love it, yeah.
And you're probably coming at it from the point of view that we should both go coming from. If you look at the numbers,
It's tight.
it's tight.
Yeah, really
it's really
tight.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because
the-
it's an 06 plate,
Yeah, exactly.
it's dropping off in value
Yeah, rapidly.
rapidly. So when I bought it, a really good one would have been about £2,000.
Yeah.
We're now like well over a year down the line.
Yeah.
And that £2,000 is now probably 1,600 quid. So today,
Yeah.
for exactly the same deal, it's probably not worth doing. If I wanted to sell this van personally now,
Yeah.
I'd be thinking, oh, you know what? I could sell that for like 1,200 quid as it stands now.
Yeah.
If I were to spend 300 quid polishing it and knocking out all the dents, or
Yeah.
a day's worth of polishing and knocking out the dents, a bit sharpish,
Yeah.
I might get 1,600 quid for it, which isn't,
Yeah.
that's only worth the value of a day's
Yeah.
wages that you put into it.
Yeah. That's sort of where I'm coming from.
Ish.
I would be intrigued to see if we could find a van and try and make some money out of it.
Let's say the jury's out.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we've not come to a firm decision. have
No,
we?
because you think one thing and I think another.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah, but that's all right, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is. It is difficult. Okay. So this is the challenge. The challenge would be this. Because remember when we bought the Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
And you
That's
went,
exactly
you're
what I was gonna
safe in the
say.
knowledge, knowing that I'm never going to find one.
Yeah.
And I'm safe in the knowledge, knowing that it would be difficult to replicate the buy that I
Of course
had.
it would be, with the
Yeah.
knowledge that you had, the inside
Yeah.
leg on what was wrong with it, all those sort of things. That
Yeah.
would be difficult, and that's the sort of holy grail, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And a low mileage van
Yeah.
with a little old lady.
Yeah.
That's only ever use it for moving flowers around.
Maybe we just go round to florists and ask if they've got vans for sale.
Oh,
Don't know.
yeah.
Or light industry. If we found this van, you knew what was wrong with it, you said you wanted to do it, and I said I don't think there's money in it, we'd end up doing it. Of course we would.
Well, we
because it'd
probably
be
would.
interesting.
Yeah, and the bottom line is this. If we didn't manage to sell it for a profit, we'd have a
Yeah, we'd have a
absolutely
great...
brilliant run around.
Yeah, exactly that. Okay, so we're going to say, obviously, if we came across this, we'd do it. But I think we'll look for one because I love the idea of it. And it's been really interesting.
You know I love a diesel, and you know I love a van.
Yeah. Yeah, but thanks for showing us. So we'll call it a day there. And my turn next time.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to us. And hopefully you enjoyed the love of my motoring life at the moment, Rocket's van. Rocket, and you've got to sing the song every time you drive her. Rocket van.
Certainly every time you see him. Well, we should also say that if anyone's got any cars they want us to come and have a look at, we need cars to see. We need people to meet. We love it. If you want us to come and look at your car, get in touch. And we'll come and say hello.
We'll come and see you, and we can do a podcast about your fantastic car. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheerio.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Flipping Bangers podcast features Gus Gregory and Will Trickett, is produced by Dan Allam, and is a Just Might TV production. International copyright is asserted. All opinions are personally held. Audio engineering is by Stephen O'Toole. We've used a sample of music composed by Tatimi and Lenny B at Upbeat. If you'd like to get in touch, please visit justmight.tv or chat to us via Instagram at Flipping Bangers. Thanks for listening.